Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the patch notes are here for the December Spider-Man No Way Home update featuring Black Cat and Kingpin holiday uniforms. This is very exciting. There's a lot of stuff to get to. There's new content, there's quality of life updates, and there are massive upgrades to the three aforementioned characters. So let's just get right into it. I honestly think these patch notes have something for everyone. And I just want to say one thing. I know that some people can't really, divinate and see and look into the crystal ball and understand that these effects equal such and such performance, but it blows me away in a bad way that some people look at Spider-Man's uniforms and think they're bad. I think we've developed an over-reliance on key indicators like accumulation, and I think people are going to be in for a very pleasant surprise. Just a bit of a spoiler here when they see how busted Spider-Man looks. And yeah, okay, so let's just get right into it. So Spider-Man's got these two new uniforms. He's got the integrated suit, and he's got the black and gold suit that's sort of like aided by Doctor Strange with the time freeze. There's only one skill difference between these two uniforms that I've been able to see, but it is 7 o'clock in the morning, so I may have made a couple of mistakes here, so forgive me for that. But yes, the two uniforms do seem very similar, except for one skill change on the fourth skill, which we'll talk about with a couple of different buffs and what I think that means. But overall, his uniforms do seem very similar, which is good, I think. And they're synergy uniforms, so you buy one for $10.50, and then the other one will be on sale for $8.75 or something like that. So let's see what Spider-Man gets. So his uniform effect is going to give him 30% crit rate, 25% dodge, and then he's going to get this brand new buff. He has 3 brand new buffs that I've never seen before, that we've never seen before on a character. So the first one, excluding bosses, ignores the enemy's damage decrease by 50%. So that means any regular mobs, any other types of content, any other types of PvE content where it's not considered a bot, the enemy is not considered a boss type, but anything from in dispatch leading up to the boss, right? Anything in dimension rifts leading up to the boss, that kind of stuff. Also, any PvP content. In any PvP content, wink wink, nudge nudge, he's going to ignore your damage decrease by 50%. He's got a walking CTP effect at all times. The ambush effect on the CTP of greed. Just that alone would be busted. But now let's go check out what else he's got. His ultimate skill, this is a little confusing because this is actually his ultimate skill. Usually the tier 3 skill is not listed here. Usually it's the leadership that's listed here. But anyways, his ultimate skill, okay, it has regular effects that you would expect from an ultimate skill, which is fine. Ignore dodge, invincibility, a little bit of a buff. But look at this at the top. Web for 5 seconds, and it says ignores immunity. I don't want to read too much into that, but I went back and checked on any of his existing skills. They don't say that. They say web, and then they say the time. They do not say ignores immunity. I'm not saying he can web up World Boss Legend, but he might be able to web up World Boss Ultimate, which is scary good. And it's especially cool because it's only on his tier 3, which makes it special and makes it make sense. The Web Warrior Wrecker. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so what else does he have, Alex? Okay, Stealth Spider Stealth passive. He gets a heal. When he's below 40%, he gets a 30% pop. And he gets 5 seconds of invisibility and ignore targeting. So he becomes invisible. And then I believe the ignore target. Oh, actually, no. I was going to say the ignore targeting means that he has iframe ignore. I don't think it does. It means that he ignores targeting from enemies. But anyways, he gets this every 30 seconds. This is still busted because he gets this every 30 seconds. This is an amazing heal and defensive package. Giggity. And then his tier 2 passive, Spider Snare, he does lose the snare immunity and the stun immunity, but he gains 25%. Well, he has a 25% guaranteed dodge. He gains 60%. Increased basic damage dealt to villains by 60%. That's a lot. Okay, so what do the skills do? Nothing too special here. Nothing too special here. Keep in mind, it does have lightning damage. so they could use Spider-Man for the all war requirements because he now has 1 elemental damage skill. I think they did that on purpose. Just saying. He's got accumulation here on tumble dropkick. The really nice thing about this accumulation is it's 8 seconds with a 12-second cooldown. That means you can actually cast this skill every 6 seconds, and you can maintain the accumulation 100% uptime. That's very good. Then here on his 4th skill, this is the only skill that changes, but it's got remove active buffs. It's got another ignores immunity webbing. So it's not just on his ultimate skill, it's also on his 4th skill. This skill also has a 20% heal. So Spider-Man has 2 heals. He's got penetration, remove all debuffs for 5 seconds every 9 seconds. Huh? That's busted. That's so busted. And then it gives him 5. He has a buff, a self buff that gives him ignore iframe for 5 seconds. This is so PvP. It's not even funny. This is so busted for PvP. He's gonna take Doom. He's gonna take Doom out with the trash. All this PvP stuff with this passive here, he's gonna eat Doom for breakfast. And then he has a V-pad skill. That skill where he's spinning the car. It's a V-pad skill that you can move around. It's got a 20 guard hit. When I read this, I thought I was dreaming. A 20 guard hit for 6 seconds, like Captain Marvel. And it's got a 100% damage proc. How does anyone read this and think Spider-Man's not going to be absolutely busted? I mean, I'm sure he's going to be busted for PvP, and he may also be super busted for PvE. Anywho, actually, his uniform effect is a little bit different here. I just noticed. So he loses the enemy damage decrease, and he instead gains 50% crit damage. Okay, that is another difference here. Then everything else seems the same until you get down to his 4th skill. It's now Mystic Mayhem. That's the skill where we saw the time freeze, and that one does apply 4 seconds of time freeze that you can reapply every 6 seconds. Do the calculation on that one. Enemies are only going to have 2 seconds to be untime frozen. And then it has, instead of having the ignore iframe, it has a 30% attack buff for 6 seconds. And again, that's a perpetual buff because this skill has a 6-second cooldown when you have max skill cooldown on your cards and stuff, so it matches the buff's duration. So yeah, you lose the webbing with ignore immunity, but you gain the time freezing. So yeah, Spidey looks really busted to me. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I don't want to hype him up too much because it's just text, but he looks very busted. And then Kingpin. Now, the devs did a good job here. Kingpin is getting a tier 3. However, Black Cat, I was going to say White Fox. Black Cat is not getting a tier 3 or transcendent skill. There's Kingpin's tier 3 right here. I appreciate that, but unfortunately, Black Cat is not getting anything. Now, I think I see why Black Cat's not getting anything. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I want them to stop doing that. I genuinely do. Anyways, Kingpin, on the other hand, also looks busted. Let's take a look. Chain hit damage by 15%. Also, 100% chance to increase his crit damage by 45% for 7 seconds every 10 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty busted offensively. He seems like a PvE powerhouse. Again, this is a typo here. It's not an ultimate skill. This is his leadership. His leadership now applies to all villain allies. 40% physical attack, 30% HP. Hello, that's a PvE PvP combo. That's nice. Then he gets crit damage and ignore dodge. He gets guaranteed crit rate, and he gets skill damage bonus damage. Then he has basically it's like a ABX wet dream. He has paralysis, he has silence, and he has burn on all of his skills on 1 to 5. And then his tier 3 has silence and paralysis and bleed. So he doubles down. As far as the effects go, he's got a heal, he's got a guard hit, he's got immunity with a damage proc, and he's got penetration with a frenzy buff. The only sort of big marquee effect for PvE that Kingpin is missing is accumulation, or like increased damage to villains. But I do think Kingpin has a very good shot at replacing Apocalypse here for combat villain ABX. I do think he has that possibility. So this looks like it could be a very meta shifting update. And then we have Black Cat, who is going to basically looks like she's going to replace Proxima and Baron Zemo as the best villain leadership for ABX, Squad Battle, Dispatch, Dimension Rifts, and she may just be the best character, period, for Dispatch missions. Yes. Now, as far as which character's uniform is paywall, this uniform for Kingpin is going to be full crystal cost, no discount, no 40% discount. That's what they've been doing since last year with Cable's summer uniform. And then Black Cat's is going to be the paywall uniform. So the prediction that the female characters would get paywalled has remained, 100% accurate. Anyways, as far as the uniform effect goes for Black Cat, again, keep in mind she's still a tier 2 character, so you cannot use her in DRX, World Boss Legend, that content, but you can't even use her in the Story Mode Ultimate, but she may get a tier 3 or a Transcendence in the future, and I think this is why the devs are making her paywall, and this is why the devs made her artifact a particular way. I think they're looking to exploit FOMO, fear of missing out, because players who are interested in staying meta and keeping their account up to date will see Black Cat as a very high priority target for an upgrade in the future. And if she gets an upgrade in 3 months or 6 months or even 9 months from now, that means that if you don't buy it now, then you'll have to wait, 9 months or 6 months or 3 months until the next cycle comes around and this uniform is on sale again for Christmas. Actually, I don't know if it'll be on sale for what's it called? The summer. It might be on sale during the summer sale. So the maximum amount of time you might have to wait is 6 months, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Anyways, why am I hyping up this uniform so much? Let's take a look. The uniform effect gives her crit damage, 20% chain hit, and 35% guaranteed crit rate. That's fine, right? It gives her those buffs. But what does it give to all allies? Well, to villain allies, her leadership is now 65% attack and 35% ignore dodge. Bye-bye, Baron Zemo. You've just been replaced. Her tier 2, her regular passive, okay? When she uses any skills, not her auto attack, but when she uses any skills, she decreases the enemy's buff effect by 80% and the duration by 50% for 10 seconds with a 15-second cooldown. So you know how Doctor Strange removes buffs? She almost removes buffs because she removes the effect by 80% and then the duration by 50%. Yeah, that's kind of busted. But wait, there's more. Her tier 2 passive applies to all allies, not just villains, and it gives you increased debuff effects by 40%. She literally has Dr. Voodoo or Enchantress or White Fox's leadership as her passive effect that still applies to all allies. So she basically has Baron Zemo's leadership and Dr. Voodoo's leadership combined. Yeah. Increasing debuff effects is absolutely meta for Dispatch and Dimension Rifts because you stack 100% all defense down or 80% all defense down, and then you just shred through the targets. And then she applies 35% guaranteed dodge and skill damage bonus damage to herself. Her skills seem pretty straightforward. She does have paralysis and silence and burn, so she has all 3 meta abilities for ABX. But like I said, because she's not a tier 3 or a transcended, she should not be able to keep up with the likes of Corvus for ABX as a speed supervillain, but she should be an amazing leadership and an amazing cancel support if you need to switch into her to cancel any of the 3 beast roars. She has invincibility, incapacitation, removes debuffs, penetration, immunity, frenzy buff, a heal, and more frenzy buffs, and minus 60 all defense down. The only thing she's missing, again, the only sort of meta ability she's missing for PvE is accumulation. And then she doesn't seem to be very PvP oriented, not only with her passives, but like no ignore targeting, reflect, or anything like that. So yeah, those are the new uniforms. Kingpin's getting a new tier 3 skill, which looks very cool. He summons a bunch of hand ninjas, and then they slice and dice, and then he body slams, as Kingpin does in typical Kingpin fashion. Very cool. Now, those uniforms honestly blow me away. They look amazing on paper. Asterisk on paper. Moving on to the content, we're getting Dispatch sectors 11 and 12. I love Dispatch. I think Dispatch combines and marries some of the best content in Marvel Future Fight because it not only highlights sort of underutilized characters or characters that don't have a lot of other content that they're amazing for. Like, sure, Loki is amazing for Dispatch, but there's a lot of other unsung heroes for Dispatch, like Quicksilver and Daredevil and White Fox and, you know, Doctor Strange and Namor and all this kind of stuff. Not only is Dispatch good at that, but Dispatch provides two pieces of content. They provide clearing Dispatch Sector 11 and 12, which in itself can be a huge challenge. You also have the challenge missions in Dispatch, which we don't know of yet, but those missions requiring you to build specific teams are very, very cool and very difficult and challenging. And then you have the passive rewards. What are they going to get this time, folks? The passive rewards for sectors 11 and 12 are going to be Celestial Essence. So you're going to be able to farm, you're going to be able to passively farm without investing any energy or anything. You'll be able to passively, you get more energy, but you'll also be able to passively farm, I think, gold as well. I think gold is missing from this. Or yeah, every dispatch sector gives you gold. So you get more gold and you get Celestial Essence. I'm just highlighting how amazing it is to passively farm Celestial Essence because it's basically an infinite loop. You get Celestial Essence from Dispatch and then you just go into the shop, the artifact shop, and you just use that Celestial Essence to roll for 3, 4, 5, or 6-star artifacts. The only way to get 5 and 6-star artifacts, besides the artifact selectors that they're going to sell like once or twice a year, is using Celestial Essence. So it's, you know, it's not even whale bait or anything like that. So this is really good. And then again, there's no gold investment involved. There's no energy investment involved besides actually just farming the dispatch in the beginning, or like defeating the quests here. Clear with Wenwu, clear with 3 combat types, stuff like that. You can see one of the missions there. But yeah, this is really cool. And the Sector 11 and 12 are going to maintain the drop rates, maybe increase them, but they're going to maintain the drop chance or whatever, the items that can drop from the missions as well. So yeah, maybe we'll be able to even farm ice cream. Not the ice cream, the snowman from Sector 11 and 12. So it should be interesting to see how 11 and 12 dispatch sectors shake out, but I'm really looking forward to that. I really like dispatch. It's fun in the short term and in the long term. And then we have quality of life changes, improvements to Dimension Rift and Alliance Battle. So Dimension Rift is going to have auto repeats. You'll be able to just set it and forget it as long as the team that you have set up doesn't require you to switch. So it's going to highlight characters that you can put in the leadership slot and can sort of carry you. I mean, you can always just watch it for the beginning of the mission to switch, but I do wish they had like an auto switch feature. They're going to show you how many Dimension Rift stones you have left when you open a Dimension Rift. So it's sort of a little bit of quality of life thing there. Alliance Battle Normal, they're not getting rid of it, but they are adding autoplay, which is basically the next best thing. So you no longer have to give your phone to your cousin or whatever, or your dog, and have them play Alliance Battle for you while you do literally anything else. It has autoplay now. This is nice. This is good. This is probably the coolest quality of life feature they've introduced this update. Save team feature added to Giant Boss Raid. So you can click this little button here, and it'll give you 10 presets, and then you can set up a team and preset save it. And then when you're going into GBR, you can just quickly pop up your preset from this corner down here, and you can hit set team, and it'll set the team for you, and you can hit OK, rather than having to scroll through 250 characters in rows of 3. So this is a really good quality of life change for GBR. I think they should introduce this for, I mean, they basically have this already for other content. I was going to say introduce this for their content, but they basically have this already. The only thing I would suggest they do is add this to the story mode, where you're doing the fragment farming. Just have you auto choose the team that is going to give you, you know, to set up the team that has the 25% chance each. I want them to put that button in. But yeah, this is really, really good. Hopefully I'll be able to stop kicking people for taking 10 years to set their team in GBR. Go set up your teams in GBR, guys. And then they're adding some convenience features for squad battle. They're going to show you what, I don't know if it's your best score or if it's the best score that like the majority of players have achieved with the required team in squad battle. The one thing I have to say, the one complaint I have about squad battle here, oh, it's your best score. You recently achieved a high score, so it just reminds you what your best team was. The only thing I have to say about Squad Battle here is they should have introduced new requirements. They had the perfect chance. Squad Battle's been around for almost 2 years now. It's been a long time, guys. March 2020. It's been around for almost 2 years now. It's high time that they introduce new rotating requirements for Squad Battle. So I think they missed the mark a little bit there. Then we have the new artifacts for Spidey, Kingpin, and Black Cat. Spidey's artifact is actually pretty interesting. Keep in mind, these are the 6-star versions, so the percentages will drop down when you go to like the 3-star version, for example. But Spidey says 20% chance to dodge all attacks. Come again? What's that? I think this is a separate dodge chance. Like, Spidey's going to have his regular dodge chance, 75%, hopefully. And then his guaranteed dodge chance, which is like 25 or 20%. And then he's going to have another 20% chance to just straight up dodge everything. And I don't know if this is going to be affected by ignore dodge. I don't know. This seems like it could be either useless or very busted. So we'll have to wait and see. Kingpin's artifact increases his attack. Kind of boring, I know. And then Black Cat's artifact is a support buff. Yeah. Black Cat's artifact applies to all allies. Increases damage to villains, increases damage to heroes, and increases damage to bosses. Come and get that money. Marvel Future Fight. Looking to hook those big waifu loving whales. Let's go. Server space. Have you thanked a whale today for paying for the server space for Marvel Future Fight for another 6 months? You should. All right. We got the new Future Pass. We got the new icons, including... This is probably the most bizarre combination of icons I've ever seen. Kingpin looks like a pervert, which is kind of hard not to do. But then we have randomly Betsy Braddock coming in with the beautiful glowing energy sword and butterfly combo. I think this is one of the best icons in recent memory. And then randomly they got the dancing Zemo and they instead have a dancing Spidey. I don't know what timeline we're living in, but I kind of like it. They have auto change function added for uniform options, so you can roll those faster. They have some additional filterings for the hero menu, like you can search by upgradable hero, you can search by character name specifically, so you can just type in the name of the character you're looking for. And then they added some other things here for like the shop and stuff like that. Nothing really game breaking or sort of, you know, incredible that you have to know about. I guess the only other thing is that they added guard break immunity text to Hela and Wolverine's artifact passive, which was there but wasn't showing up. So yeah, I think this is overall a solid update. I do think there were a couple of areas for improvement, Squad Battle namely, and then Black Cat Tier 3 or Transcendence. But otherwise, I'm very, very happy, and I look forward to checking out this update tonight. So yeah, if you guys don't know how it works, I'm going to be live on Twitch tonight at about midnight or 1 a.m. You know, maybe half an hour or an hour before the update starts, and I'll be chilling. And then when the update starts, I'll be there, and we'll jump right in and test everything out. So if you want a first look and my first thoughts on everything, then yeah, hit me up, twitch.tv/Cynicalex. Thank you so much for watching the video. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.